Cardio is ideal for building up arguably the most important muscle in the body, being the heart. While obviously skeletal muscles are important for strength and hypertrophy, you absolutely should not be skipping cardio, as it is definitely good for building up long-term health. The only question is, which type of cardio should you go with, since not all types of cardio are created equal? Well, that's what we're going to cover in this video. G'day everyone, and welcome back to Powerstatics Fitness, helping you to build your body to both look and perform at its best. In today's video, we're going to be looking over all the most popular forms of cardio and putting them in a tier list to decide which ones are best for your training goals. Something to note as well is that even though some of these forms of cardio will be higher than others, ultimately, whatever cardio you enjoy should be the one that you prioritize. Because even if a type of cardio is theoretically the best version, it may not be the best one for you since you don't enjoy it and therefore won't push yourself as hard to do your best. So if you see your favorite form of cardio not in the top tier, don't worry. If you still enjoy it and it's not causing you any injuries, keep at it. This is just to show what I think the best versions of cardio are for people who may be new to the gym. With all that said, let's jump right into it. Starting off with running in general. This can be done on either a treadmill or in the great outdoors, but I just use a treadmill for the sake of this tier list. Overall, it depends on the type of running that you'll be doing, which we will cover later in the video. I'd say running is definitely a great way to get some cardio in. Whether it goes in great or good is a different question. Just simply because of where each of them will go, I'm going to be putting it in the top of pretty good. But ultimately, running is a very natural human movement and is definitely a great way to build up cardiovascular health. The only problem is, for a lot of people, it can be boring, it can be very stressful on the joints, and as we'll see later with jogging, it's not ideal in the long run, in my opinion. Next up is the elliptical. Overall, I'd say it's similar-ish to the treadmill, but maybe a little bit lower. Since it is a locked range of motion, I do not think it is as good as a treadmill or running outside, but it is a little bit better if you have a bit of joint problems, as it is a little bit lighter on your joints, and therefore I'm going to be putting it in pretty good, but not my ideal choice. Next up is going to be jogging. So I literally had this conversation with one of my friends the other day. Jogging takes almost all the negatives of both sprinting and walking. Sprinting has a low duration, but in turn it has a very high impact and it's very high intensity. If you're doing just walking, it's a long duration, but in turn, it's low impact and low intensity. However, jogging takes both the negatives. It takes the high impact and the long duration. So even though sprints, you're going to be very high impact on your joints, it's going to be done very quickly. Whereas jogging takes a very long time and ultimately is just not ideal. Unless you are a marathon runner, I would definitely opt for something else, and therefore I'm going to be putting it in the bottom tier. Next up is sprints, and I think these are a great way for cardio, as not only are they great for your cardiovascular system and your endurance, but it also is great for your type 2 muscle fibers and builds up good explosivity and speed. Again, as said before, it is very high impact, so you don't want to be doing it too long, but obviously in a sprint you're going all out and therefore you won't be able to be going all out for too long. So therefore I'm going to be putting it in the great choice section. Next up, we're going to be looking at the stationary bike. This can also go for riding your bike in the great outdoors on the road or in trails, though this will slightly differentiate, but we're just going for riding a bike in general. I'd say this is a very good thing for building up endurance in your legs. This is the better alternative, in my opinion, to the elliptical, since it is a locked range of motion and will be a little bit less harsh on your joints. But overall, I still think it is very good for building up leg strength. Sometimes if people have either knee or lower back injuries, this can also be a good strength or endurance movement compared to doing things like heavy back squats or deadlifts. So overall, I think great option. I'm going to be putting it in the top of pretty good. I'd say it's slightly better than the treadmill. It could also go in the bottom of great choice, but you'll see right now with the assault bike, I do think the assault bike is the better version of it. It's a lot more higher intensity. It gets your arms involved. And overall, I think it's just a great movement. It's slightly more athletic compared to keeping your arms completely stationary. You're getting your entire body involved. And overall, I think it just gets a better overall cardio burn, and therefore it's going to be going in the bottom of the great choice. Next up is swimming, and I think swimming is an absolutely amazing exercise, especially for cardio. As said before, it's good to have cardio, which is going to be slightly less harsh on your joints, especially with running, with the whole thudding of going up and down. Obviously, you'll build up that cartilage and be stronger over time, but it can obviously lead to injuries. That being said, swimming, you can go for long periods of times. It's not that harsh on your joints, and also it's just a bit more fun. It's nice to get in, get a good swim, and good chill. So I'm going to be putting that in goated for now. There's going to be a few others in there, but for now, it's the sole resident. And speaking of goated cardio exercise, we're now going to be looking at the rower. Now, this is absolutely great as it combines both cardio and strength. This is a great way to build up your back as well as your cardio and your heart muscles. It has a very high intensity, and therefore you won't be having to go too long. It's not too harsh on your joints. And overall, I just think it's an absolutely amazing exercise. It's going to be going in the top of the goated above swimming. Next up is going to be the Stairmaster. There's nothing really wrong with the Stairmaster. It is definitely good as well for building up your leg strength, your quads, your glutes. However, I just don't think it is in the goated section. I'd say the only real negative is that sometimes the quads will not be the limiting factor compared to your heart and your cardiovascular system. Your legs may just give out a little bit earlier. Obviously, they are very taxing on the cardiovascular system, but I just think that it's probably not the absolute goat as the goat, and that's just what's keeping it outside of that. Since if you're going up a very high staircase, your cardio will definitely give out, but also your legs may give out. So a lot of the time, your cardio will be your limiting factor though. So therefore, it's still a great exercise, and I'll be putting it in the middle of the great category, just between sprints and the assault bike. Next up is the jump rope, and this is definitely one of my favorite exercises. It's low intensity, low impact, and can be done for a long time, but also burns an amazing amount of calories. It burns about 13 to 15 calories per minute, which is some of the most efficient ways to burn calories, and it's something that you can continue for a very long time, and therefore is one of the best ways to burn fat and build up your cardiovascular system, and therefore it is going to be going in the goated tier. Is it better than the rower? Just below it, but still great exercise. Finally is going to be doing things like boxing. This can be on the bag, it can be with the mitts, you can even theoretically be sparring or drills, but I'd say more just the cardio style boxing. I think this is definitely my personal favorite way to get in cardio. This can also apply to different martial arts as well, like kickboxing, Muay Thai, heck, even like wrestling or jiu-jitsu. I think it's just a great way to get cardio in since it's very high intensity, but you're also learning a skill. You're putting your muscular endurance and the max exertion on the line. And ultimately, it's just a more interesting way to go about it. And therefore, even though I'm biased since I do it myself, I'm going to be putting it in the goated tier. I'm gonna put it just above the rower. Ultimately though, these are all great top forms of cardio. I would say probably jogging is my least favorite and one that I wouldn't recommend to people. But again, if you enjoy it, if you like going in the great outdoors and exploring and going for a long distance run, or you're preparing for a marathon, completely fair. But this is my list. And there we have it. If you found this video helpful, be sure to drop a like. If you have any comments or any disagreements with anything that happened in the list, be sure to let me know down below in the comments. And if you want to see more content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you want your own tailored program where I break everything down for you, be sure to check it out on the website, link in the description down below.